Welcome to Seamless Across Platforms, the podcast where we seamlessly navigate through the worlds of video games, sports, and everyday life. Join me, Fighting Ewok, along with my co-host, I'm Famished, as we explore the diverse spectrum of topics that fuel our passions.
Hey everybody, so today I'm going to show you how to use this one-handed lopper. Look at that, taking them out. This one is great. I highly recommend it.
What the hell?
Wow. Really, dude?
Yeah. From epic gaming adventure to heated sports debates and insightful discussions about twists and turns of lives, we cover it all. So settle in and join us for a journey across platforms. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when our episodes are coming out.
Is it a little bit of
ASMR coffee. Nothing.
You didn't hear it?
Your mic didn't pick up any of that.
It didn't pick it up? I was right on top of the mic.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
It didn't pick up any of it? All right.
No, I could
Let's
hear
try
you
it again.
talking, but tail end of your like cut out, but everything else is
Dang.
good.
Oh well. Hey, ASMR fail. Leo liked it.
Is
Leo! Give me some of that. Riz. Cheers. So he was up over 100 most of the time. And sometimes he would be down around 70. And then there's a few other times where it just glitched out and like he would show me like 15 or 20.
yeah.
But I'm still like, who cares?
I'm getting 0.5 over here.
Yeah, I'm over here at 1.0 something. So anyway.
Yeah, your internet, the agent from your internet service provider was just like, because I was acting like a interested buyer, like thinking about buying your house and like telling him I'm this like super busy businessman that has like things I have to do on the internet a lot. And I have like voice calls, voice interviews, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, and he was like, yeah, you'll be lucky if you can check your email, bro. And I was like, oh, and he's like, yeah, he was like, so you definitely should take that into consideration. And he was like, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but you know, I was like, oh God, this guy just shit on his own internet.
Dude, like the level that you have my back is just insane. That you're calling my internet service provider. And I think
Yeah.
it's after like I think it's like a day after we couldn't do something online or something. Like
Yeah.
it was just something happened and you were fed up and you were like, I'm getting to the bottom of this. We're figuring out his internet.
Yeah, because on the way home from your house, I noticed that fiber was being installed on the power lines in your area. And so that's why I was like, called this guy and I was like, hey, I see that there's fiber being installed in the area and I'm looking at possibly purchasing a home, but the home that I'm looking at purchasing is currently, it doesn't look like there's fiber been set up on its street yet. And that's where the conversation started. And the guy was like, yeah, we definitely have fiber in the area, but that particular road doesn't look like it has anything scheduled for anything in the near future. He's like, that could change, but as of right now, we don't have anything down in our notes for that particular street in the county, our road in the county. And I was like, dang it. I was like, well, yeah, you should totally do something down this road.
Yeah, well, they have not. So,
Yeah.
I
bet within the next couple of years, they probably will.
I'm sure, but for now,
Starlink it
we're
is.
hooking ourselves up with some Starlink.
That's cool.
And should be good. except when it's cloudy and when it rains.
Yeah,
Because
that's
it's a
fine.
satellite, it'll slow down.
Yeah, hey,
But
probably better than what you got now.
oh yeah, unless it goes down completely, nothing could beat that. I mean, come on, give me a break.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that'll be the bummer is when it's just a terrible thunderstorm out and you're like wanting to catch an Atlanta United game. Maybe then that's
Yeah,
when it'll be a headache.
yeah. But oh well, we'll see. Hmm. But nevertheless, that's the exciting news of today. Is we have we have officially committed ourselves to Starlink.
Got to do
So
what you
that's
got to
that.
do.
Yeah, that's that. But hey, when we played our game last week, um, what was it called? Yes, Your Grace.
Yes, your
Uh,
grace.
yes, Your Grace. So when we played our game, um, I don't think you were able to get our faces in there. Do you think you just want to keep it how we did it by narrating and like keeping our faces out of it?
Yeah, I was actually
Or
thinking about that. I think it would be fine to do that. I think like the beginning of the clip, it had our faces, and then my OBS, like I forgot that I had one of the sources set up to capture a game. And so once the game like had been kicked in for a little while, it just switched to like the game capture source instead of like my actual monitor. So that's
yeah,
why it ended up like not showing our faces anymore, which is fine. Like I don't know, to be honest with you, this whole role playing aspect of it kind of makes it more in like an immersing feeling to like not have our faces there while we're like doing these character voices, you know what I'm saying? So like that
yeah,
whole part where we're doing these country hicks and the Batman voice unintentionally and all that, like that was kind of cool to have, like, where you couldn't see us while we're doing all that.
mm,
Oh man, ooh, March Madness coming up. I don't think I've ever done a full blown. I think last year didn't like me, you, and Buckshot, we did like a bracket or something for fun, right? But it wasn't like a super big deal. It was like going on to
because we were using the same chat we were using when I first started doing my NCAA football dynasty stuff, and every year Scott and I do a big old bracket, and so
yeah,
last year we had you doing it.
yeah, yeah. And like, gosh, I wish I had more time to watch college basketball to feel confident about making a bracket. But last year I definitely did not feel confident. I was just like kind of going through stats online, to see like previous games and like how they had been doing in recent games and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah, I think
but
that's the best anybody can do. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think I've watched a single college basketball game of any team all season. I mean, I think I've caught like moments of some games,
yeah.
but
I'm just excited. I think Nebraska's going to be in it this year. I
I mean,
think.
it's close, right?
I think as of like tonight, they're third in the Big Ten because like Northwestern lost a game. And so since Northwestern lost a game, they dropped below Nebraska. Nebraska went from like fourth to third in the Big Ten now. I think as long as they're in the top four in the Big Ten, they should be in it. So as long as they can hold on to staying in the top four, they should be in the tournament. Because you would think the top four teams in the Big Ten would be in the tournament.
Yeah, you would think so, right?
Yeah. I think even if they're like in the top six, they still have a chance of being in it. They just won't be getting like the first round to like have a bye or whatever. I don't know how it works, but I feel like it's something like that I've been hearing from the Nebraska media talking about it.
Yeah. Um,
I'm excited, man. If they get in it, dude, I may actually, I'm probably gonna watch some of their games for sure, or at least their first round. Hopefully, they get through it.
yeah, I think they probably could. I'm looking up like teams that are kind of on the bubble. So obviously this 1 megabit uh download speed is Good for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, on the bubble, I don't have ESPN Plus, so it won't let me read the rest of this. Anyway, doesn't matter. I think they have a good chance to be in, and quite frankly, I think they should be in.
Yeah, so they are sitting at tied for third with Wisconsin. Both have an 11-8 conference record, but I think that Nebraska beat Wisconsin. I don't know if they beat them both times. Let me look at their schedule real quick here. I think somehow the tiebreaker goes to Nebraska in that situation, because Nebraska also beat Purdue. All right, so they lost to Wisconsin there. They've won one against Wisconsin and they've lost one against Wisconsin. Trying to see their games against Purdue, because I think that's what caused them to like win the tiebreaker. Beat Purdue there. Yeah, I think it's their win against Purdue that causes them. They beat Purdue and they beat Illinois, so they like win the tiebreaker. So Nebraska has wins against the top two teams, but has won one and lost one against Wisconsin. So the tiebreaker of being in third place would go to, I guess, like technically Nebraska's in third. And they have Nebraska's last game of the season is at Michigan, who is currently last in the Big Ten.
Ooh.
That's the kind of game that they would lose, though, I bet. Like, hate to be negative, but I feel like that's the kind of game that like they may just like not show up for. Yes, they are on the road. Wisconsin plays at Purdue. So if Wisconsin beats Purdue,
not likely,
then there's a chance that Wisconsin then is technically third over Nebraska.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's likely. Give me a break. Hey. Knock it off.
Trying to do a podcast here.
Trying to do a podcast. Animals barking outside. Man.
Anyways, so I'm excited for my Cornhuskers, man. They may be able to do something this year. At least get, I don't know, maybe a round or two in. Maybe even do better than that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, they have potential, I think, to win a couple of games. They also have potential to lose right away. Like they win like huge games, and then sometimes it's like, how did you lose that?
At home, they could beat just about anybody. I think we have, like our record at home today is like, or not today, but this season was like 13-1 or something like that, or 16-1 or 18-1. It's something in one. I know that. Like we've gone the whole season and have only lost once at home.
Yeah.
So, but on the road, there's been times we've lost some road games that we should not have lost.
Well, I don't know, man. I think they'll be okay. They'll be okay. It's going to be exciting, regardless. I'm so excited for the weekend.
All right. So what's happening? What's happening?
Atlanta United has their home opener on Saturday.
For the start of the season?
Yeah, this is their second game of the season. They started on the road, but got their home opener. It's going to be freaking awesome. I can't wait.
Who are they playing?
New England, the Revolution. So New England's good, but they also play in what's called the Champions Cup for our region. And our region is like the Caribbean, North America, Central America. So you take like all like the best teams from last year and the champions from last year from each league. And I'm talking leagues from Jamaica I'm talking leagues from like Central American countries. You're talking Mexico, Honduras, right? You're talking Nicaragua. You're talking like all these Central American countries, Honduras. If I didn't say that, I don't remember. But um, anyway, North, Central, and Caribbean countries. Any country that has a league, um, they enter into this tournament, and it's a Champions Cup. So New England was playing in it. But they played yesterday, which by the time we released this would have been several days ago. So they played Wednesday, whatever. Anyway, they're playing in it, and so there's a good chance that by Saturday they have to rotate their team, or they're tired from having to play last Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. So, and Atlanta's got a pretty good team themselves. So,
Yeah.
I think we're going to take care of business. And I can't wait, man. The chants, the cheering, that amazing stadium, 60,000 plus people packed in there, just losing their minds.
Yeah. I need to get back there. I need to get back there to, so I got to feel what the supporter section felt like, but I really, really want to see, I'm very interested to know what the vibe of the rest of the stadium feels like. Does that make sense? Like, don't get me wrong. I know that I'm going to have more fun in the supporter section, but I'm very curious to see what the vibe of the rest of the stadium feels like, because it was kind of hard to get a feel for that, like being in the supporter section. When you're in the supporter section, like it's just like, you're going crazy. It was fun.
Yep.
But I'm very intrigued to know. I mean, I know you've done it, right? So
yeah, I've sat everywhere I think you can sit in that stadium.
okay.
So I would say that depending on where you sit, there's so most of the fans that go, we have a mantra of, we stand for 90 minutes. We don't sit. We don't use the seats. There are sections because there's so many season ticket holders, right? There's 40,000 season ticket holders. So all these folks coming to the games, there's certain sections that have sort of agreed over the years to, hey, I think we're going to sit. Maybe they've moved seats here and there, and like maybe there was a cluster of people who needed to sit down because maybe they physically couldn't stand all 90 minutes.
Right.
But there were other people who maybe were sitting in front of them as season ticket holders that were standing. And over the years, I think a lot of people who need to sit have found that cluster, and most everybody else who stands kind of have. So I think people who have season tickets have sort of moved over the years. And so you have like this vibe of some places, a lot of them, they have people who are sitting.
Yeah.
And then majority of the stadium is still standing with the supporter section. And I would say that it's just funny. It's fun. People are yelling and screaming like at the game, at the ref. Many people will sing along with the chants the supporter section's doing anyway. There's two or three different things that they do that involve the rest of the stadium, the supporters, like the thunderclap, the Viking clap they call it, that they do through the stadium, and then like the callback back and forth. So it's just a cool vibe no matter where you're at. So
Cool.
What we'll have to do is find a game where, because considering my role with the team now, not necessarily the team, but with our supporter group, it's a little harder for me to step from that section now. But I can always plan ahead, and it's fine. But the next time you come, what we may have to do is try to get like club seats where it's over the section where the players come out of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And when you sit there, you have access to underneath where that tunnel is, and that's where all the restaurants are. That's where the players line up before the game. They come in back and forth from there. That's where you get the autographs. So we have to experience that portion of it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah, that's super cool. But I just can't wait to get back in there with 60,000 people or more, and just let it just hear the noise, man. Like, oh, it's just a thing. It's a thing that you crave. I just cannot wait.
Cool, man.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, I got to get back there with you. Even, I mean, I don't even mind. Like, we can go to the supporter section again. I don't care, man. It was fun. So.
Well, now this time what you have to come is you and me. You'll have to share, and you'll have to wave a flag for a few minutes to get involved and have some fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh gosh, but I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait. I wish that skeptical folks who maybe aren't into soccer or have this complex that they don't want to go to one or to a game, or they don't want to enjoy it. Man, I would say if you like that, just get over yourself and go, man. Like,
yeah.
I mean, if a friend is inviting you, just go. I mean, frankly, just go for the party, honestly. And it doesn't matter if you understand the game or not, because the one thing that you know is that the supporter section, if you're not sitting in it when you go, looks dope. It looks cool. You can hear them singing. The rest of the stadium, people are yelling things and saying stuff and getting involved. The atmosphere gets you engaged, and it doesn't matter if you know all the rules, because you know one thing: if the ball is kicked into that net, you go crazy. That's all you got to know.
Yeah.
Right? That's all you got to know. But people just got to go experience it. That's it. Just let your buddy take you. Let your friend take you. Go, your kid plays youth soccer and somebody invites your kid to go, and you've never been because you're a football guy. Your kid just wanted to play soccer and it doesn't matter to you. Like, go. You're going to be shocked. Yeah. Like, you will be taken back by everything that it has. So
yeah, for sure. Like if you and your family just like don't have anything to do on a weekend, and you live within like an hour or two of Mercedes-Benz Stadium, like, and you want something fun to just go do with the family, like, go. You know?
Yeah, I mean, heck, dude, we used to drive 4 hours, like 3 or 4 times a season. But now that we live, we live 2 hours away. Yeah. And we are at every home game. So it just takes you. It just that's it. Just go. Experience it. And if you don't like it, I mean, that's you, but I mean, you might be a fuddy-duddy. May need to look in the mirror.
Or you just don't like soccer.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to. The experience, the party, the environment. Not even.
I mean, like, there's other things you're gonna enjoy. There's food. There's drinking. Party vibes.
Yep. I mean, there's so many things to see, and even if you're not into throwing them back or drinking and stuff, if you just want to go and see an amazing stadium and hear an amazing atmosphere and just get the aura of being in person at a game, the Atlanta United games are the place to go. You're not going to you'll get bursts of excitement at a Falcons game. You'll get every once in a while in an inning of baseball, you'll get an exciting play.
Yeah.
Here it's 90 straight minutes of action with exciting play after build up and just if it doesn't engage you, look in the mirror, I think. Anyway, go check it out.
Yeah. It's a for sure. It was worth it to me. And
Yeah.
I don't follow MLS very often, but it was worth it for sure.
Hmm. Oh man, I wish. And this is completely off the topic, but I wish you were recording when we first started talking because the way that your hat made your face look.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of doing some of that on purpose, but yeah. The first
That's
time I
fine.
accidentally did it, and I noticed like how ridiculous it looked, so I like did it hardcore the second time to kind of like make fun of myself.
I wish everyone would have seen it
Yeah,
because that was funny.
it's okay. I'll catch it the next time I do something stupid.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There'll be many of those
Yeah.
moments.
Oh gosh, I think it would be funny to do some of our role playing on Yes Your Grace, like in the middle of the pod, like 15 minutes of like answering questions and doing things like in our voices and stuff. Because that was so fun, and I'm hoping we can play some of that tonight.
Yeah, I'm down, man. We can do it.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. I definitely want to do that. That sounds like fun.
Yes,
Oh, but otherwise, dude, like I really not a whole lot's been going on this week. I've just been counting down the days for this game. Buckshot's coming over tomorrow to go to the game,
cool.
and man, I don't know. I don't know. Nothing else really. It's just work stuff, and then home. And the week goes by super slow because I'm so excited about this weekend. Yeah. Oh, but uh, I think it was pretty cool what you were telling me. So we used to joke about being the men who build things.
Yeah,
And it was a joke because we don't really know how to build shit, but we would like build something and, we would be proud of it. We would
yeah,
learn as we go, right? We wouldn't go into it knowing here's the proper setup and the proper structure. But we'd get it done.
yeah.
So
Maybe
anyway,
some tools being used for things that those tools shouldn't be used for, but you have to use them to make it work because you don't have the actual tool that you need.
that's right.
Many men,
That's
I'm
right.
sure, have been there, but
Yeah. But I thought it was pretty cool that you were telling me because we've never really been into it. But uh you leveled up your game, your man game, and fixed a dang small engine. What
it was on a
on a
chainsaw.
chainsaw,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what was wrong with the chainsaw?
Well, to narrow it down, chainsaw wouldn't start. Big shocker. That was the problem. Anyways,
What was broken? The starter was broken.
what I found was that I did a few tests. I tested the compression on the chainsaw. The compression came back good. Tested the spark plug. Spark plug was sparking, so that was good. So the next thing that I went for, because of the particular issue that I was having, not wanting to fire up, was I wanted to check the carburetor. So I took the carburetor out, and upon taking the carburetor apart to clean it, I found that some of the gaskets in the carburetor were kind of falling apart, like almost like molting in a way, like almost like just because of how old the chainsaw. I don't think the age of the chainsaw really had much to do with it. I'm sure there's somebody that may watch this that knows more about this stuff than me. But I think what it was is that this particular chainsaw, when I talked to the owner of it, it sat on a shelf for a while with fuel in it and wasn't used for a while. And apparently that can be bad if it, like, fuel sits in the carburetor unused for a while. Maybe just some of the fuel, maybe it was bad fuel, I don't know, but somehow or another these gaskets got kind of like messed up in the carburetor. So it was a quick fix, like $14, ordered some new gaskets, waited for them to come in, took like 3 days for them to come in the mail, and I cleaned up the carburetor, swapped out the gaskets, and she's purring like a kitten now. So,
Hey man, it ended up being pretty simple, but like I love it's that feeling when you delve into a new realm of
yeah,
things, right?
yeah,
It's like overcoming that first barrier to say, I never done that before. I don't know if I understand it, but just having that intensity to get into it and say, no,
yeah,
like I'm gonna check this out.
yeah. I still don't know jack crap about, small engine mechanic work. It was just, maybe I got lucky. I don't know. But I just said to myself, like, I want to learn more stuff like this. I've gone a lot of my life without really being exposed to certain things like, mechanic work or, even working with a chainsaw. I never really did that much as a young adult or even, as a teenager or whatever, which, obviously is a very dangerous thing that probably most kids shouldn't be exposed to at too early of an age, operating a chainsaw. But, there is a lot of young men out there and young women that did get exposed to it and have developed probably some skills that are very useful to them with their knowledge of small engines and operating chainsaws and whatever, other small engines they may be using. And I just said to myself, like, I'm in my 30s and I don't know crap about this stuff. And like, I'm tired of not knowing crap about this kind of stuff. So I want to like take the initiative to learn and just, with the mixture of kind of just like going for it and then doing some research online, watching videos, and then hearing about the problem that this chainsaw of a family member of mine who the chainsaw belongs to, hearing about the problems that he was having with it. He was highly capable of dealing with it himself because he's a mechanic himself. But he just was more, he deals with more like, vehicles and cars and trucks, and he even works on airplanes and aircraft and stuff like that. So like chainsaw is kind of like on the back burner for him. Like he doesn't really have the time to be fighting with a chainsaw. So like I was like, hey, do you mind if I give it a go and see if I can figure it out for you? And he was kind enough to let me give it a shot, and maybe I got lucky, I don't know, but it's working. So I must have
Heck
done
yeah.
something right.
Yeah,
But,
man. Yeah, I
but
can I can attest that kids getting exposed to chainsaws a little too early can be dangerous. I
yeah.
have quite a scar on my leg to as a testimony.
Yeah, yeah. I remember you telling me about that. But it was you were like pushing a tree while your dad was like trying to cut it or something. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was it was like a cut and push technique we had used a lot of times.
mm,
But this particular tree didn't cooperate, and essentially cutting away from me, and then I would get to sort of like the side of the tree. Again, like he would be on one side, kind of cutting the tree, but he's cutting away from me, and then I would like come in and like help like push the tree like out of like if there was a bunch of vegetation or something, like try to push it in the way we wanted it to go. And on this particular time, I stepped forward a little too early, and the tree kind of fell like and like I kind of stepped forward a little soon because I knew he was about to like let off of the chainsaw, like let off of the throttle or whatever.
mm-hmm.
So he let off the throttle, uh, you know, cutting it, and he started to pull back on the chainsaw. And as he started to pull the chainsaw out of the tree, right, um, the tree sort of fell backward towards it and like pinched the chainsaw he was pulling out, and it pinched it and kicked it out.
Mm.
And as it kicked it out, and he was letting go of the throttle, kicked it out and backed into my leg, and cut it through pretty good.
Yeesh.
So anyway,
How many stitches can you remember?
Well, actually, the issue is that I think there was maybe 8 or 10, but they were spaced out so far apart because they had to let it drain.
Oof.
Yeah, so there's a lot of graphic stuff that went into that. I was
Yeah.
in the hospital for most of that day and night, making sure that it was cleaned out properly and that let's say they trimmed the wounded area so that the skin would heal back together properly.
Mm.
Um, so there was a lot of
Any damage to like?
cutting of.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't want to get too graphic. I don't want to gross anyone out, but when you cut something with something kind of serrated like that, it's not like you're cutting it straight across like with a knife or a paper cut.
No, yeah, choose it
It's
up.
it's a little chewed up. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of trimming going on to get the chewed up pieces out. So it was bad. And the worst, you know, the worst part is that I when we got in there, I'm in shock, right? But they start, I mean, cleaning this thing out, just like saline or whatever, water spraying in there, getting out like bits of like sawdust, basically, bits of tree, or whatever that maybe got cut or lodged in there, whatever. Um, and then the doctor comes in and just puts two fingers down into my leg that was all serrated open. This gash, no numbing, nothing. And when he did, my other foot came up and just, ah, I mean, I kicked the shit out of that guy. And I yelled, of course. It's like some of the most pain I've ever had in my life. And he was like, what the fuck's going on? And anyway, come to find out, no one had numbed anything.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah, he didn't know.
Yeah, he deserved that boot.
Yeah. So, anyway, um, I just recall a lot of work going on inside of the wound. And I recall the stitches were spread out quite a bit, 8 to 10 of them or so, way spread out. Again, so that it would drain and they didn't want to trap any infection in there. They didn't know if any pieces were still left in. Like they were just, you sometimes you got to leave wounds open to kind of drain and heal.
Yeah.
So I had that, and it was some of the worst couple weeks ever of my life because I was couldn't move it, of course, and had some restraints because it's right in the middle of my leg, right on your shin,
Mm.
and so I had bone damage,
I was
of
gonna ask that
course.
earlier. Did you get any bone damage? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then so so the chain kind of like hit into that first bone. I don't know if it's the tibia or fibia. I don't remember, but anyway, your shin, right? Anyway, the chain clicks into it, and that's what stops the chain. But obviously there was some damage done before it stopped,
Yeah.
on the bone.
Mm.
But then, like
Tasty.
the rest of the saw, like tilted and just cut into all the meat, down the side towards your calf. So anyway, the next like 5 nights were the worst, some of the worst of my whole life because I'm on the couch and my leg is like secured. It's my left leg, so I would lay in a way to where my left leg was like inside, right? My right leg was the one on the outside of the couch.
Yeah.
And the muscle, like imagine you're running. Imagine you're playing sports and your calf starts cramping. And like it makes you go down, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine you just stayed down with it in the position that it was cramping in and could not stretch it.
Ugh. Brutal.
Imagine you just cramp and cramp, and you were not allowed to stretch.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Mm.
That was the agony. That was it. that was
Like
it.
your own little torture right there.
Yeah, absolutely, it was torture. So anyway, I don't know.
Golly.
I can't recall how we got down this path, but
Oh, we were just talking about
anyway.
fixing a chainsaw. And
Oh yeah,
all
like
that.
fixing stuff.
Yeah.
So
do you have like almost like a, I wouldn't say it's like full blown PTSD, but do you pick up a chainsaw and feel like not at ease today because of that, or how do you feel when you're around a chainsaw today because of that?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm a man. I'm fine.
Yeah. Suck it
I'll
up,
pick
put
up a
some dirt in it, huh?
chainsaw. I'll pick up a chainsaw, I'll cut a branch for you. You need a tree branch cut? I got you. I'll cut down a whole tree. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Chainsaws? Nah. You know what they say, get back up on the horse, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
A gross but interesting story, my friend.
Yeah. So the last part to that story, which is kind of funny, is after it happened. So it's my dad and I, and we have this little wheelbarrow makeshift attached to the back of our lawnmower to a hitch that we put on our lawnmower.
He hauled you off on it, didn't he?
Yeah. So so once I cut my leg, I thought I was fine, right? And of course, my dad's like, "Nah, lift your pants, like lift your pant leg up." Like, because I remember like everything about this. I can remember the moment it happened, everything. And I felt like a little bit of like whoa, like I like almost passed out, right? Because your body is like thinking, "Oh shit,"
I was like, shut down.
Yeah. So, and then I look down and there's like not really a hole in my pants, but it's because the blade just cut in that one piece and then like hit the bone, across the bone and then stopped and cut. But it like just, I guess one of the blades just had like this, it just took this tiny little hole, right? And it was just a couple of those blades that just did most of the damage. So anyway, like it wasn't like my pant legs were shredded. Anyway, I was like, I'm fine. I don't even feel anything. Well, sure enough, he said, pick up your pant leg. And I did. And it was this. So I immediately was just like, and he turned white as a ghost. He was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. So he puts me into the wheelbarrow and just kicks that little Murray lawnmower into rabbit speed and just books it back up, probably like a couple of acres back up to the house we were at. So that was it. And he was just freaking out the whole time. It was bad. It was quite bad.
That's crazy.
So anyway, it's funny. Yeah, I got toted back up to the house in the back of a wheelbarrow attached to a hitch on a lawnmower.
No wonder you're so good at those country voices.
Oh yeah, man. I tell you what.
Speaking of which,
I don't know.
We should do something, man. We should
Yeah.
get into Yes Your Grace week 2, man. I need to go get some coffee though.
Yeah, I want to do that.
So coffee break. Come back. We're gonna do week 2. Does that sound good?
All right. I'm in.
All right, I'll be right back.
Vamos Atlanta. Esta noche. Dude, I think we sat down at the same time.
Dude, we really did. I was just about to say the same thing. Anyways. Coffee. Dude, I am so pumped for this coffee right now. Hey, have you ever gone to, like, tell me if I'm just being dumb, but it is one of the worst feelings, and I get that this is like a, I don't know, bougie life problem, right? Or like first world problem, but one of the worst things is when you go to use a Keurig and you go to hit that brew button and it says add water. I hate that shit. Because you look at the container like that holds the water, and it looks like it has plenty of damn water. You're like, what? It happens at the worst. It didn't happen to me tonight, right? It didn't happen to me tonight. But man, I hate that. In the morning, getting ready for work, and you hit that button and it says add water. I'm like, oh,
what a day this is gonna be. Add water to my day.
Add water to my coffee machine that makes me coffee in minutes. What is up, people of YouTube? That is the end of episode 9 of the Seamless Across Platforms podcast. If you guys are interested in seeing what our roleplay was like on Yes Your Grace, head on over to my channel. I'm Famished on YouTube, and I've released episode 2, which is weeks 2 and 3 of our role-playing on Yes Your Grace. And if you haven't checked out week 1, check that out as well. And don't forget to follow my boy Fighting Ewok over on his YouTube channel. We appreciate y'all, we love y'all, and we'll catch you guys later on.